So this video is brought to you by Soul Premise, so thank you for supporting this channel. But Soul Premise is the backpack that I use for traveling, right? Or also when I go to the gym, this is actually the backpack that I use. This mesh backpack, right? So it's TSA approved, so you can put it in the overhead bin and you don't have to worry about like checking if the size is good. It will fit in the overhead compartments. And also the great thing about this bag is it can fit up to 5 pairs of shoes. It's absolutely insane. So here on the bottom you can fit a pair. Here in the back pocket you can fit 2 pairs, and then here in the front pocket you can fit 2 pairs. And there's also pockets for your laptop, your belongings like wallets, phones, and stuff like that. And it's also like not super big and not super bulky. It's a great size. They have it available in this mesh material and also a very nice premium material like this leather. So we have more of a casual backpack here. We have a very nice tumbled leather here. And also this backpack is a great option if you want to carry a couple of shoes around as well. It can fit 2 to 3 pairs of shoes. And if you're a sneakerhead like me, then this is a great option as well. There is a pocket for a laptop in here, and also another pocket here in the front, and also here in the back as well. So if you're looking for a bag, then definitely check out Soul Premise. And also if you guys use the code Soul Brothers, you can get 40% off your order. So a link to that will be in the description box below. Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Air Jordan 37. So this shoe is going for $185, super premium price. I mean, that's pretty normal for a Jordan signature shoe. I mean, it's MJ's signature shoe, right? So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. There are 2 colorways available, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And honestly, it's actually very, very good, but it did need some breaking in, right? So when I first got it, it was all right. You know, it was biting pretty good, but you know, like the first couple of days, like the first day, second day, third day, it was pretty good. But on the 3rd day, it actually started to get really, really good. And if you're playing on a clean court, you're gonna be good to go. It has an amazing bite. It stops very, very hard, and you pretty much stop on a dime, right? So amazing bite on a clean court, but performance on dust is not the best. I mean, okay, so it's a very easy wipe, right? Like if it picks up dust, you just go 1 or 2 times and you're good to go. It's a very easy wipe as well. It's not like you're going, It's not annoying, right? But it picks up dust pretty quickly, and it is affected by dust a lot. So even if there is a little bit of dust, it does slide around just a tiny bit. But like I said, it's an easy wipe, but you're gonna have to wipe a lot. So if you don't mind wiping, then you should be fine in the Jordan 37. But if you do mind wiping, then this probably isn't the best option. Also, it's actually pretty damn squeaky now, right? So when I first got it, it wasn't super squeaky. But once I broke it in, it started to squeak, and it actually has a very nice, high-pitched and loud squeak. Of course, that has nothing to do with performance, right? I'm just saying that it has a nice loud squeak because I like to have a loud squeak, and I feel like a lot of you guys do as well. And for durability, an actual Jordan signature shoe has good durability, right? So I mean, they haven't been giving us good durability, you know, in their shoes, especially for a premium price, which makes no sense. But here in the Jordan 37, it feels like it's gonna be super good, right? The grooves are very deep and also very thick, and the rubber's super hard. So I feel like even if you're playing on an outdoor court, you should be good to go. Although it's a very expensive shoe, I don't know if you'd want to, but it seems like it's gonna be very good. Also here in the middle of the outsole, we can see the carbon fiber midfoot shank plate, and it is a decoupled outsole design. So that is a very nice premium touch as well. And now moving on to the heel to toe transition, overall it's pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape, you know, so it doesn't feel super clunky, but we have this crazy plastic. It's a really thick plastic as well. So it's a very hard plastic too, so you don't feel any type of compression from the Formula 23 as far as the midsole goes. So it feels pretty clunky, you know, but it feels pretty smooth for the transition. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curve shape and a good amount of forefoot flex, right? I'm actually putting a good amount of force here. So there is a little bit of rebound back, right? Just a tiny bit because it's a little bit stiffer, right? If you compare it to like the Kyrie's, which is a lot easier to flex here in the forefoot, it feels a little bit better because of the stiffer sole. If you want a little bit more like bounciness, you know, like explosiveness off the first step or something like that. Also, you feel the zoom strobel unit in the forefoot, I mean basically double stack zoom units, which gives you a nice bounce in the forefoot as well. So overall, heel to toe transition is pretty smooth. It's just a little clunky here in the heel. And also, of course, we have good torsion support with the carbon fiber midfoot shank plate. It doesn't flex at all, right? We're moving on to the cushioning setup. So yeah, it's crazy, guys. It's insane, right? So we have a mix of Formula 23 in the heel, and we have a double stack zoom unit in the forefoot. Also, it's a zoom strobel unit, so you have the zoom unit pretty much right underneath your foot. It's crazy thick. It's not really segmented at all either, right? If you look at a full length zoom strobel unit like in the Jordan 36, it's segmented, right? So it kind of like bounces and compresses in the same like area. But the zoom strobel unit here in the forefoot in the Jordan 37 and also in the Kyrie Infinity is a little bit less segmented, right? So it feels a little bit more kind of like unstable, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's too much, like sometimes I like the way the Kyrie Infinity feels as far as the zoom strobel unit in the forefoot goes. It's a little too crazy for me sometimes, right? Especially if I want a responsive cushion. So that's why I pick shoes like the 808-2 or like the PG6, the Curry 9, zoom separate if I want something a little bit more mellow. But if I want to go a little crazy, then Kyrie Infinity or full length zoom strobel unit like in the Jordan 36, right? But the Jordan 37 is crazier, right? So like the Kyrie Infinity, you have a lot of compression, right? But I feel like the double stacking of the zoom units definitely helps with the compression and bounce. And yeah, on some days I really didn't like the cushioning setup, and on some days I really liked it. It's just a little like I guess different for me in what I wanted that day. So yeah, sometimes like I was like, it's too much, it's too much compression, too much bounce, and I felt a little unstable as well. And sometimes I was like, yo, this is super bouncy and it feels really, really nice. So if you've tried the Kyrie Infinity, it feels even crazier in the forefoot. And yeah, I mean, if you want a lot of compression and a lot of bounce in the forefoot, then yeah, this is a great option. But if you want anything responsive and anything more mellow, then this is a really bad option, right? Here in the heel, the Formula 23 actually broke in pretty nicely. Although it's crazy cage and there's not a whole lot of compression, or there's really zero compression from the actual midsole, I felt my heel digging into the Formula 23 a little bit, and there's just a nice subtle compression. And that's pretty much it. So I definitely wish they wouldn't have caged it as much, but it's not bad. Court feel is actually pretty good. It's definitely not as good as the Kyrie Infinity. I mean, the Kyrie Infinity has really good court feel, right? Jordan 37 is a little bit higher up off the ground, but it's still like pretty good. Impact protection is really good, especially in the forefoot. If you're doing heel strikes, it's all right. So yeah, I was a little indifferent with the cushioning setup, and I feel like the only people that would like it is if you want something insane. So there is the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the material, so we got Leno weave, and this Leno weave is insane, guys, especially comparing it to the Jordan 36. I mean, 36 was insane, but it takes it to another level with the 37. Honestly though, I like the 36 a little bit better because it feels a lot less glued down, right? And also flimsy, right? Look at this. It's just really soft, right? And there's no like flimsy noise, but here in the 37 it feels a lot more glued down, right? If you hear it, right, it feels a little bit more flimsy. So because of that, it feels a little bit cheaper, right? But it's still extremely freaking thin, and ventilation is still awesome, right? So I mean, you can't beat the ventilation in the Jordan 36 or the 37. Like, it's just, you're not gonna beat it. Airflow is absolutely insane. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't like it because it looks cheap and it's just like, you don't think it'll be durable. I mean, honestly, I didn't really have any huge issues, and it feels overall pretty good for durability because it's glued down and doesn't really stretch that much, so it's good for support. But yeah, I don't really think like you're gonna rip the material all too much, especially since you don't need a whole lot of support here in the toe box, right? And then here on the lateral side, we can see there is an underlying material kind of like zigzagging across the material for extra support. So there's that. And also for the tongue, we can see kind of like a polyester type of neoprene material, right? It's an independent tongue as well. There's zero padding. There's a little bit of padding here on top of the tongue, but it's very minimal. So yeah, I mean like here in the midfoot and here in the toe box, it's just the thinnest material ever. And then also here in the ankle area, there's very minimal padding, right? So here in the back of the heel, very minimal. And also there's like some foam pads here on the sides of the shoe, right? But they're also like, I guess it feels pretty nice on the ankle bones, but doesn't really add too much for coziness or comfort. So if you're looking for an extremely well ventilated material that's super thin and feels actually pretty nice on foot, then this is a great option. But I mean, for 185 bucks though, like, it does feel a little cheap and a little flimsy and a little plasticky, right? So there is the leno weave there. Moving on to the fit. So I went true to size and it fits me overall pretty damn well. So lengthwise, if you want to have your toes like kind of like right at the edge of the shoe, true to size, you should be good to go. Width-wise, it's around normal width, maybe a touch narrow. And then also here in the toe box, it's a little roomy, just a tiny bit. I'd actually say it's a little bit roomier than the Jordan 36 here. So yeah, I mean, I could curl my toes up just a tiny bit, but it wasn't to the point where I absolutely hated the fit, just because I like to have a very snug toe box, right? So if you like a roomier toe box, then the Jordan 37 definitely is a pretty good option. So overall, it fit my foot pretty damn well. If you have a wide foot, probably just go up half a size and you should be good to go. And also this shoe is pretty damn easy to put on because we have a very high heel tab as well, right? Look at that. So there's that. Moving on to the support and lockdown. So for lateral containment, I was good to go. So as you guys can see, for lateral containment, there are sidewalls, right? We have this leather material. We have a little bit of fuse as well. And like I said, this leno weave is supportive, right? So I didn't really have any issues with my my foot coming out of the foot pad at all. And also here in the midfoot, we have the same thing. And then here in the heel, we have the this cage coming up, right? And also there is an internal heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good to go. And lateral stability was also pretty good. We can see the foam protruding out here in the forefoot. So we have a nice wide base, but I mean, so it wasn't terrible for lateral containment, but the zoom unit, at times I would feel a little unstable just because there's so much freaking compression from the double stack zoom units, right? As far as the ankle support goes, it kind of sucks. I mean, like even if I tighten the laces like really tight, like the last couple of eyelets, this material is like pretty like thin and flimsy, so it doesn't really offer all too much support. So I mean, it restricted my ankle movement just a tiny bit, but overall, I mean, if you're looking for good ankle support, 37 definitely is not the best. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. So it's 12.7 ounces. Let's check the other pair. 12.77 ounces. So that's around average weight. That kind of sucks because, I mean, the leno weave just, the leno weave is super light. It's not adding like any weight to the shoe, right? So whatever they did with the plastic, or maybe, I don't know, the rubber or the foam, it added a little bit of weight to it, you know? I mean, let's check the 36 low. I mean, 36 low is 11.96 ounces, so it's a little bit lighter, right? But yeah, I mean, how does it feel on foot? It definitely feels a little bottom heavy, especially here in the heel because of all of this plastic. I mean, this material, it's so damn minimal, right? Also, as far as responsiveness goes, it was pretty good. I mean, the traction was solid, it was good, but the cushion made me feel a little bit slower because of the forefoot compression, right? But overall, I felt pretty quick on my feet. I mean, like out of the triple thread, I did feel pretty explosive because of that, but like I said, just because of that crazy compression, I did feel a little bit of lag. But once it like kind of like rebound back and bounce back, then I did like that explosiveness, right? All right, moving on to the aesthetics. I like it. It definitely grew on me a little bit, but it definitely isn't my favorite Jordan silhouette. I definitely think the 36 looks better, as well as the 34. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the Jordan 37 it's something else. I mean, I definitely did enjoy it some days, and some days I didn't really enjoy it, right? And the main thing was responsiveness, right? So if I wanted a shoe that was super responsive, right, and I could feel really quick in, the 37 was not the option that I would pick, you know? Like if I wanted something responsive and also low to the ground, I would pick, you know, the Harden, the Curry 9, the PG6, you know, the Curry 4 Flotro, the 808-2. But if I wanted maximum bounce and maximum compression, especially in the forefoot, then the 37 is really nice, right? So of course, ask yourself that, you know, the main thing, I mean, like the forefoot zoom strobe unit, if you will like it or not, because of course it is a pretty expensive shoe. So for guards, I don't think it's the best option, but if you're like a bigger dude, I feel like this will be a solid option. So anyways, that about concludes my review of the Jordan 37. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.